Hey everybody, my name is Elijah, and today I'm here to share with you some information about testing headspace on your 223 WYLDE chambered AR-15 barrel. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I went online to find the same information and I really didn't find what I needed. And I ended up wasting some money buying extra gauges and doing some extra tests and talking to the manufacturer. And I want to spare you that extra work and answer some of these questions for you right now. So, if you're trying to headspace, check your headspace on a 223 WYLDE barrel, then stick around because I'm going to share with you 3 things in this video. The first thing I'm going to share with you is how to check headspace. Very simple information, but I'm also going to show you how to disassemble the bolt carrier group and do a proper test. And you can test it both when your barrel's off the build or when it's fully assembled on the build. So both those ways, okay? Second thing I'm going to share with you, which is why you're mostly here, is do I need to buy a specific 223 WYLDE specific headspace gauge, or will the 223 Remington or 5.56 NATO gauges work just fine? If that's why you're here, use the time marker, skip past the first section, and I'll give you that answer because I bought them all. I figured out what's the difference and if you need it or not. And then the third thing I'm gonna lay out in this video is what happens if you do a go gauge test on your 223 barrel and it fails. Your bolt won't close. I ran into that scenario as well. I worked through it with the manufacturer and I found the problem and resolution. And so if you're that person and you're failing your go gauge test on your 223 WYLDE barrel, stick around. I'm gonna show you those 3 things with you. And at the end of this video, I think you're gonna learn and understand a lot more about 223 WYLDE barrels. And I really hope it helps you and saves you some money, so stay tuned. All right, so the first thing that's most important is that the firearm that you test the headspace on or the barrel, that you use the bolt that goes with that barrel, okay? So we're gonna first take this bolt, and to test headspace, you need to have both the extractor and the ejector off of the bolt so that the gauge sits flat and flush on that, okay? So our goal is to disassemble this bolt carrier group and to remove the extractor and ejector. The way you do that is you just get a little hook here and you take the pin out of the side. Okay, pop that out. Remove the firing pin. Okay. And then you just turn this lever or this pin and you remove it. Got it. Now with that, the bolt should pop out the end. Okay. Once you have the bolt out, you can use any form of a punch. There's a bigger pin and a larger pin, okay? I'm gonna take the bigger pin, I'm just gonna push it out. This one normally comes out pretty easy. The other one's the difficult one. That's out. And then this piece comes off. This has actually a spring and a little washer on it. So just be careful not to lose those. Just be careful. Anything you take apart, just set it aside real gently. Now, I learned this the hard way, but there is a pin here with a spring underneath it, and there's a small roll pin you need to punch out. If you just punch this out, you might ruin that roll pin. I did, the first time I did this, okay? So it is almost critical that you have some sort of a tool. Now, this is a knockoff of a real Avid Master Bench Block, but it works just fine. But here's the cool thing. You put your bolt in here, and you tighten this down, and it compresses that spring, and it actually makes it so you don't damage the pin when you remove it. Boom. Okay. And then there's a small roll pin. You need the smallest punch you have in your kit is a 1/16. This is an aftermarket one because I broke all the ones in the Wheeler kit. But I'm gonna punch this out. Sometimes this doesn't come out very easily. This one does because of the brand and because I've done it a few times. But be careful with that. If you ruin that, you can get that pin online for about 99 cents, but shipping's gonna cost you about $6. So it's a pain in the butt, all right? Once you get that little pin out, Now that comes out and the spring comes out, and your bolt is now has a bare back face on it. There's no obstructions. Your go gauge and your gauges will fit flush on that. Okay? With that out, now you reassemble your bolt. Okay. You're just reassembling it without the extractor and ejector. Everything else goes back to normal. Okay. Firing pin and cotter pin. Boom. So now we have a bolt that's operational. The only difference is there's nothing on the back there. Okay. Now for purposes of this test, I have this assembled bolt that would go on that upper that's assembled, but I also have this already stripped down bolt, and that actually goes with this build, which is this Odinworks Ultralight 223 Wild barrel. And now I'm going to show you how to check for headspace. Okay. So the first thing you need to do, you probably know there's a go gauge and a no-go gauge with headspace gauges. I'm just going to show you the basic operation of the test, and then we're going to talk about the gauges in the second step, but this is the first step. So we're going to take a 223 Wild. This is a 223 barrel, 223 Wild barrel, not Remington. 223 Wild headspace gauge. I'm going to pop that in there into the chamber. Then you're going to take the bolt that you use with that weapon. And what should happen is you should be able to push down on the lugs and they should engage and turn. A go gauge should allow those lugs to engage and turn. If it does, it passes the test. If it wouldn't turn, that'll be a later scenario, it would fail the test. But this is successful. I'm also going to do that. Then if you take a no-go gauge, this is here is a 5.56 NATO. Oh wait. 5.56 NATO max gauge, which is the exact same as a 223 no-go gauge. Put that in the chamber. Put your bolt in, push down. Now this time, this should not engage. Those lugs should not clear. It should not engage. It should not twist. This is a no-go gauge, so it passes the test. If this was to be able to go down, engage, and turn on a no-go gauge, it would be out of specs. That's it. Now let's do the same test on an assembled upper or assembled firearm. This is a fully assembled upper, and this is the bolt that we just disassembled for the demo. Okay, so the back bolt face is open. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to take the 223 Wild go gauge, drop it in the chamber, and take my bolt carrier group, slide it down in there. And what I can expect to see when I push here is you want those lugs to go engage and turn. I noticed they did engage and turn. Not only that, the second test here is that the back of your upper should be flush with your bolt carrier group. That is flush. So I can actually watch it. It's engaging, it's turning. It is passing the test on the go gauge. Okay. Let's get that out. Let's drop the no-go gauge in there. The NATO max gauge. There we go. We got 5.56 NATO max. Drop that in. Same thing. Slide this down. Try to push down. Now you'll notice it does not push down. The lugs do not engage. There's too much clearance there. It will not go, does not engage, and it is not flush. That bolt carrier group is sticking out at least a 1/4 inch out of the end of the upper receiver. It will not engage, but that's a passing test because this is a no-go gauge or a max gauge. So again, I'll just try, see if I messed up. No, it will not engage. It is sticking out and not flush. But because it's a max no-go gauge, it passes the test. That's how you check for headspace. All right, now this is why y'all came here. Go gauges, all gauges, headspace gauges, okay? Do you need to buy 223 Wild specific headspace gauges for a 223 Wild barrel? Through much trial and error, through much purchasing power, the answer is no, you don't, okay? I will just briefly describe the difference between those, but I'm going to tell you don't. And right now I have two 223 Wild barrels, and both of those pass the test on both the 223 Remington Go Gauge, which is the same as a NATO minimum gauge. It's measured at 1.4636. The bolt will turn. Same with the 223 WYLDE Go Gauge. The bolt will turn. Okay, so max gauge should be the exact same. So here's what I learned through this process. There is a difference. I want you to know there is a difference. The WYLDE gauge is slightly shorter than the 223 Remington gauge. I know this for two reasons. What's the first reason? Evidence. Dial calipers. Okay, let's go ahead and dial caliper these. This is a 223 Remington Go Gauge. It measures at full length 1.653. 1.653. The WYLDE gauge 1.6075. Okay, it's about a half of a tenth of an inch shorter. Now, I'm no expert, and some of you might just want to argue and say it doesn't matter, but I'm telling you it doesn't really matter. Also, the other reason I know it's shorter, I had a barrel fail the Go Gauge test. I had a 223 Remington Go Gauge on this Odinworks barrel, put it in. The gauges would not engage and it would not turn. It failed the Go Gauge test. Okay, so then I said, well, surely I need to get the 223 WYLDE gauge. Bought it, 45 bucks. Tried it again, it still wouldn't turn. Now, if I pushed hard, I could force it and allow those to engage. This is how I knew there was a difference. I could turn it with force. It would turn with force. That told me, that was evidence that the 223 WYLDE gauge was slightly shorter than the 223 Remington gauge. Okay, Go Gauge. But at the end of the day, the summary of section 2, answering this question is, do you need to buy a 223 WYLDE specific headspace gauge? And the answer is no. I recommend you get two. 223 Remington Go Gauge, which is the same as 556 NATO minimum, measuring at 1.4636. That's your Go Gauge for both 556, 223 and 223 WYLDE. I think it'll be just fine. And I recommend you get a 556 NATO max gauge. 1.4736 is the measurement. And I think this will work as a good max for your 223, your 556, and your WYLDE. So those are the two I recommend you get. Don't worry, don't go ahead and buy the WYLDE specific gauge. Also, I think they try to convince you to buy this because all the other gauges, they put their measurement specs on them. The WYLDE ones don't. They just kind of leave it blank. It's the mystery. And that's why I'm making this video. We don't need mystery. We just need to know what we need so we don't waste our money, right? All right. So now I'm going to move to that third scenario in my video, which talks about if your barrel fails the Go Gauge test. Okay, third part of the video, last part of the video, I promise. So you do a modification. You change your upper, you change your barrel, whatever. You decide to check headspace. You pop in your 223 Remington or 223 WYLDE minimum Go Gauge. Put your bolt in. It doesn't turn. That's what I came across. Won't turn. Something's wrong. Everything online says that that your bolt's supposed to turn on a Go Gauge. Doesn't turn. What do? Right? I'll tell you what I did. So first of all, find the manufacturer. I was working with Odinworks. That's the brand here. But it doesn't matter who you're working with. If it's Aero Precision, Odinworks, Radian, whatever, any brand. If your test fails, contact them. Ask them what measurements they use. Ask them if they can assist you. That's what I did in this particular build. And I came to the conclusion that I did not trust it because it was failing my test, both the 223 Wild test and the 223 running test. It would not close on the Go Gauge. I shipped it to the manufacturer free of charge 2 years after I bought it. Thank you, Odin. They gave me a shipping label, shipped it to them, and they did their measurements, and they said, it passes our tests. We think it's safe to use, and you want to send it back to you. And I said, no, I need to understand. Why doesn't it close on my gauges? This is 223 Wild. This is a 223 Wild gauge. Why is it failing the test? And their explanation basically was they use different measurements. All their gauges, all their reamers and hones and all that stuff, they use a different set of measurements. And they said, we've tested it. It's per spec. It will work. Okay. Now, one thing I wish I would have done is I wish after it failed the test, I wish I would have popped that out and put a round in there. Because what the manufacturer does on your match grade barrels is they tighten up the tolerances. And with the tightened tolerances, it allows you to have more accuracy. And I think what happened is it was really tight. And I think that the bolt probably did close on a round, but it wouldn't close on the gauge because they do use slightly different measurements. And I think it was probably safe and more accurate that way. Now, they did me a courtesy and they actually said, if you want, we'll open this up just a tiny bit and we'll make it so your gauge is past the test. And I asked them to do that. I kind of regret it, but I learned a lesson. So somehow they went here and I think they back cut these lips, but whatever they did, it allows now my Go gauges to pass the test. I'm happy with that. But the whole point of this lesson is that if it fails the Go gauge test, contact the manufacturer, have them double check you, and have them verify. And they might have a solution for you and they might say that it's good to go. Or if it fails that test, put a round in there, see if it works. If it does, you're probably good to go because as we know, most of these NATO spec AR-15 platform parts are all pretty standard and you shouldn't have much issues. So that's what you do if your barrel fails that test. Hey, I just want to thank you guys for watching today. If you learned something, did you save $45 not having to order a 223 Wild Go gauge? If you did, you owe me a subscribe. Just subscribe. Come on. I hope this information was helpful and useful. And I hope you didn't have to waste time or money trying to figure out how to check headspace on a 223 Wild barrel. I gave you the information you need. You don't need to buy an extra gauge. Follow the steps that I outlined in here. It'll help you not to damage your bolt pins when you take them out. It'll help you to be able to verify your headspace, and it'll help you not to waste money on things you don't need to waste money on. Also, always go back to your manufacturer. They're normally willing to help you out and make sure you're confident. I mean, firearms, we want to be safe, right? We want to make sure we're confident in our builds, especially if we're doing it on our own. So go to the manufacturer, get that assistance. They normally offer it to you free of charge. So hopefully this was helpful and useful to you. Please subscribe, like the video, grow a beard, love Jesus, take care, have a great year. Talk to you soon.